Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the September edition of Live's Q&A for CPR instructors. My name is Kirk. I'm the founder of Rescue Site, and you're on with the one and only Tim Smith, CEO of HeartCert. Tim, how are you doing, brother?
Kirk, I am doing fantastic. Thank you. Great intro as always. Life's good.
Come on.
For you.
Love it. Doing great, man. Doing great. Living the dream, not sleeping, but, all the things.
What's going on?
Well, hey, listen, if you're just now tuning in with us, I see we got several people online. Go ahead and throw your name in the chat, who you are, your company name, and where you're tuning in from, because we love to give shout outs to people as they listen on. This is an interactive call, so this is designed for CPR instructors by CPR instructors to answer any questions that you might have. So looking forward to that. Today we are going to be covering some, ways to grow your business as, yourself, your personal self, your business, books, blogs to read, of self-improvement. And if we have time, we might even touch a little bit on marketing as well. A couple announcements. We have some webinars coming up. I say we, the American Heart Association, I saw they have one coming up September 22nd that might look interesting to you guys. It's called Take Your Training to the Next Level, AHA Blended and E-Learning Webinar. It is hosted by the AHA. This is September 22nd. That is a Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to throw in the chat all the details so you can have that available, because I think that might be a really good thing to take a look at. Oh, it is a long URL. So if it looks spammy, that is that's okay. It's not spam. But if you're listening, we're streaming live on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube. If you're listening on LinkedIn, you might not receive that, content. I'll go in after the fact. But if you're on Facebook or YouTube, you can see those that comment I just posted. The other thing is Life Saving Summit. Tim, you want to tell us a little bit about Life Saving Summit? You're going this year, right?
Yeah, I am going this year. Yeah, it's kind of the hot topic right now because it's coming up quickly, and I think there's still a few seats. But you spoke at it last year. Last year was my first time going. You did a fantastic job. But what it is, I can't speak highly enough about it. It's a conference for people like us, CPR instructors, safety instructors who are running their own business or heavily involved in it. And it's just a bunch of like-minded people getting together, and you see that you're not alone. We all have the same struggles, very similar struggles. People at different stages of their business. You can see people who have, gotten past where you are potentially, and people who are just starting. And it's just a chance to talk, help each other, a lot of team building, and just good general information.
Hey, I'm a huge believer that collaboration is the new currency. And working with other CPR instructors, seeing what they did right or wrong, and how you can tweak it to make your secret recipe or your secret sauce. And so networking and going to events like Life Saving Summit are absolutely huge. I can't recommend events like that enough. I went ahead and put a link in the chat. This is the lifesavingsummit.com URL. So has all the information you need there as far as content, how to buy tickets. This is coming up October 11th through 13th. It's going to be, I don't even know if I'm going to pronounce this correctly, but Chaco Springs Conference Center. Is that how you pronounce it?
Fine, Kirk.
But it is in Talladega, Alabama. And actually, I just drove through Talladega. My wife did an ultra marathon on the Pinhoti this past Saturday. And she did like 33 miles, man. So, super impressive. That's a lot of miles. That's about 32 too many, in my opinion. But, well, hey, shout out to my friend Treb in the Philippines. Thank you for joining us, brother, and thank you for commenting. Thank you for being on board. We do have an international audience when it comes to AHA, Red Cross, and all the things. So no matter where you are tuning in from in the world, this content is going to be, extremely valuable for you because it applies no matter where you are. So let's jump right into some content. Tim, you want to kick it off with some book suggestions?
Yeah, but before we get into the books, if it's all right, I want to touch back on the Life Saving Summit because I don't know about you,
Okay.
but like my journey as a business person, there's been a lot to it. I never would have thought about reading books, listening to podcasts, let alone, heaven forbid, paying money and a plane ticket and everything else to go to a conference. Conference? Are you kidding me? Like, what good is this going to do for my business? I was always kind of like, looking at everything from a dollar perspective. And if you open your mind up, and it doesn't just have to be Life Saving Summit, there's so many other things, and that's the point that we're going to get into today, is your self-improvement is so important. Like that's almost got to be like number one. That's how you're going to continue to help your business. Otherwise, it's like you're beating your head against the wall. You've got this one mindset and you're doing this, but you open it up, you learn different skills or different ways of thinking or ways people do things, and man, does it make a difference. So yeah, I used to never read books. I didn't go to conferences, I didn't take classes, and once I started doing that kind of stuff, I really noticed a big difference. You're a different person. You like to read and do all that stuff and get it in there, and so that's awesome. That's certainly helped you, can tell that. So.
Well, my secret sauce here is Audible. If you have a phone with an app capability, which I think everyone does nowadays, I literally I read about a book a week, and these are all books that I've read and like are on my thing. And let's see, what am I currently reading that right now? It's called Emotional Intelligence 2.0 by Travis Bradbury and Gene Greaves. Really good. Great content in there. I absolutely love listening to books, because for me to sit down and open up a book, some people like that, but for me, I'm so busy, and I'm sure you are too. So I take time during traveling, so car rides, and that includes plane rides. That includes honestly, shower time. I'll have my earbuds in the shower listening to stuff sometimes, just getting content in, because I know how important it is. So often, we go to you graduate high school, and typically you might go to college. You go to college, and then what happens? That's the last time you learn anything. Like, people stop learning.
Yeah, last time you learned.
And so I can't encourage you enough to take the time, invest the money, because guess what? No matter where you go, no matter what venture you are in, no matter what industry, the content you learn, the people you meet will stick with you forever. And you'll be able to build off of that regardless. So to your point, Tim, when it comes to going to conferences, spend the money, invest the time, money, and energy. I mean, dude, this conference is nothing, man. How much does this cost? I'm just curious.
Yeah,
Single attendee.
Depending on where you are in your business, it can definitely be and where you are in the country, right? When I go, I've got to pay for a plane ticket and go a day early and all that. But it's worth it. Any of these, whether it's Life Saving Summit or something else. I've been to a couple others. There's EMS conferences, a couple that are put on by Heart. Cardiac Summit. What is it called? I'll think of it by the end of the podcast. But that's a really good one to go to. Are there any others you go to?
Honestly, I like to go to business specific stuff, because what that does is it actually allows me to take something from another industry and apply it to this industry of CPR training, AED sales, whatever the case may be. Because if you are always talking to and in this one industry, which you should be, then everyone's thinking the same inside the box. The second you take a step outside the box and go to a different conference and something that you might not typically consider, then all of a sudden your brain starts working in a different capacity, because it's trying to figure out how to make sense of, how does this apply to this over here?
Yep.
So that's what I did.
Yeah, I think a nice mix of that stuff. Exactly. You need to do some of the business industry specific, but you also need to be a little more broad in general, and just like like you've taken a lot of classes, read a lot of books, like anything by Grant Cardone. He's very good at sales.
10x, baby.
Looking into things like that will help you with sales. So like you can look at just sales or just marketing, either a conference, a book, a workshop. That kind of stuff is just huge. So yeah, that you mentioned a book, so I'll mention one. It gets talked about at the Life Saving Summit, but a lot of people who are watching haven't been there, and I hadn't heard of it before. So the E Myth is a bit more broad.
Oh
That's
yeah,
a book, and it
great stuff.
helps you figure out and just really lays out in a neat way how to make sure you're working for the business, rather than we're working on the business rather than for the business. I already said it wrong, but
Right.
it's not
Yeah.
a job
So,
for you. Yeah.
dude, that is one of my favorite books. Michael Gerber is the author, so check it out. The E Myth, and it helps you get outside of working in the business and work on the business. So look at the 50,000-foot view of your business, because more times than not, the majority of business owners are single owner LLCs, or maybe even a sole proprietor. But what that means is they don't have a team. They don't have people that are going to be there to help them build their vision, mission, core values, and whatnot. And so if you are constantly on the grindstone, working and working and working, and you never step outside to build that, then you're going to be on the hamster wheel of death forever.
Exactly. Yep. People, procedures, processes, just all of it. That's a great one. So that's one that I like to recommend to people.
I love it.
Audible is huge too. Oh, missing the summit again 3 years in a row for Curtis. Oh man.
Come on, Curtis, we need to get you out there, brother.
So yeah, totally get it. Not everybody can get there, but look at other things.
I wonder if there's an online.
What I was thinking of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Say it again.
Cardiac Arrest Summit. It's a once a year.
Okay,
thing.
got it.
And it's really focused around CPR. It's a good one.
Malcolm, what's up, brother? Malcolm Smith in Houston, Texas.
Yeah,
loving the
nice
value you provide. Appreciate you, Malcolm. Always a huge supporter, and absolutely love your support, man. You're a killer out there. So keep up the good work.
Nice work, Malcolm.
Books. So you mentioned blogs. Are there? I'll be honest. I don't really do a whole lot of blogging or reading of blogs. Do you?
I know, and I was hoping you did. I'm not a huge blogger that I read a lot of blogs, but I do podcasts. So yeah, like I said, I wish I could read more, but just like you, that's what I do too. So that's kind of the hack. Is it still reading? I think so. You're still getting
absolutely.
It's just a different way. So yeah, there's some books to check out. Blogs. If anyone has got ideas, we'd love to have them. I'll think of one. I've got one. But anyway, like podcasts. So I really like a good podcast where there's just like this, some back and forth, some talking, some what works, what doesn't work, and just different ways to look at things. So do you have some good ones, like ones that I like?
I do.
I like this.
That was exactly what I had pulled up. Look at that.
Yep,
Look at that right there.
Yeah,
How I Built This by Guy Raz, man. That is such a good. I mean, he does such an incredible job. The way he asks the questions, the way he, does the full interview is just so professional, well done, and I would highly recommend taking a look at that for sure.
Yeah. So the background on that for those listening, if you haven't heard it, basically, Guy Raz, the host, he interviews somebody who has built a business, and there's some that are a little smaller. Usually it's ones that are pretty significant, like the owner of Menards or Men's Warehouse, or national big huge things, and the journey that they go through. That's what I love hearing, is just this journey and the mistakes made along the way and lessons learned, and really good.
I mean, it is truly, like, give it a listen. I when I'm mowing the grass, that's what I'm listening to. It's a good one, and you get to hear from these people that they're interviewing. These are companies of products that you buy that are in your kitchen.
Yeah, they're known.
You utilize, them, and so like it's really cool to hear the backstory of the struggle, really, because nothing in life that's worth having comes easy. And I mean, I can't think of anything. Can you, Tim, think of anything that this was super easy? And it was,
nothing seems easy, does it? I think
right.
Maybe, but certainly not in the business world. Not
right.
It doesn't seem easy.
Hey, do me a favor. We are on the headed towards the end of this time period at this live Q&A with CPR instructors. But do me a favor and hit that share button, because whether you're a CPR instructor or not, I guarantee you someone in your network needs to hear what we're talking about here today. So do me a favor, hit that share button, let your network know we're tuning in from Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. So let the world know what we're talking about today. I got a quote of the day for you real quick, if that's all right.
Love a good quote of the day. Hit me, Kirk.
So speaking of books, so I do sales training every day. Every single day I do sales training. Why? Because, if you want to be a professional, you have to train like a professional. That means daily training. And so if you look at professional athletes, do you think they run that play for the first time on Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening? No. They have done that exact play, those exact series scenarios a million times in practice for weeks and months and even years in advance. And so what I do is I take that same philosophy of never practicing on your clients to a whole new level. And that requires training every day, role playing every day. And anyway, one of the trainings that I was doing today, I was talking about the book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I'm sure you've heard of it. If you haven't read it, put it on your list. Stephen Covey is the one who wrote it. And the quote that really stuck out to me today during my sales training was, seek first to understand, then to be understood. I was like, ooh,
deep.
Ooh,
deep
that's
there.
So good. Right. Because Tim, how many times have you been in a conversation with somebody, let's say at a restaurant, and then someone walks by and then all of a sudden it's like squirrel. And then it's, or maybe you're telling them a cool story, and then all of a sudden they pick up their phone and they start, chatting with someone else. Or listening is so powerful, and actively listening to where you are, not thinking about the next thing you're going to say, and actually, be present in the conversation. First of all, that shows respect for the other person. But ultimately, take a minute to seek first to understand, whether it's your spouse, your child, or a client. I mean, this applies in all areas of life, I would argue, and then to be understood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, powerful stuff for sure.
So, that was my quote of the day.
Like you said, we are winding down, but the whole thing was we want to get it out to all of you that the importance of, and just some options, because maybe you've got other books you've read and this and that. It's really good to have different resources. So podcasts, Audible, books. I don't know about you. I've done a couple of these in the past, especially when I was first starting my business. So depending on
a couple
of these I was going to get to.
Gotcha.
So like community ed type of classes, or so I didn't really know. I had basic knowledge to build one, but I wanted to do more. So I took a website building class. I still needed to hire somebody down the road, but little things to help get you by. And it improves, your background, your knowledge of things. So even when you do hire on somebody else, you at least, you know what you're talking about when they're talking with you. So that's just another option for self-improvement. And all of this is not meant to be oh, this takes up your whole day, whole week. It's meant to be a supplement to work these things in to better yourself. As you better yourself, your business will follow.
I love that. And to the extent you take your physical body seriously, you'll take your business seriously. So I can't highly encourage everyone listening enough to hit the gym. But it's not just the gym, it's what you eat. So hit the kitchen properly too. And then not only what you eat, but it's also the sleeping. So hit the bed properly. No, that sounds kind of weird. I'm not sure if I should have said that on live television, but
all right, I like that.
I think you know what you meant. I think you know what I meant by that. So eat right, sleep right, and work right. Work out right.
Which of course, whenever I hear that, or when I hear it, I would roll my eyes, and I'm not the healthiest, but once you do realize and you take it seriously and you start paying attention, when you're doing those things correctly in your life or better, you're going to feel better, act better, do better. your brain works better. It's just it's the way it is. So I mean, you might think, oh yeah, well I don't have time to eat right. I don't have to. It's like the self-improvement stuff. You need to make time for it, or the business is going to suffer. If you put the business first, as crazy as it sounds, the business isn't going to actually come first or thrive. You need to put you first. Your mental health, your physical health, and your knowledge and knowledge base. You come first, then the business. Kind of like in a marriage, the husband wife need to come first and their love before the kids, because if they see you fighting and everything all the time, then it's you come first. That's how it's.
Tim, we getting deep today, brother.
I know. I went way deep there. The last thing I want to talk about, and there's different terms for it, but I think is really important that people overlook, and I did too. All of this I didn't do for years, and I just wish I had, and that's why I bring it up. I never had a mentor. And you think, oh, a mentor. Mentor can mean so many different things. Really, I didn't have anybody that had any kind of either business or industry knowledge that I could just talk to, just bounce ideas off of, or just have some questions, some back and forth. How our classes looking this month? How many people you do? Well, why do you think that is? What can be doing? What can you do better? What are some different options? What are some ways to self-improve? Just anybody. It doesn't have to be someone who's been there, done that, is the world's greatest in anything. My mentor, actually, that I wound up kind of hooking up with, knows nothing about CPR. Wasn't even CPR certified, but he knows business. He's made other companies. He's invested in things. And that was a huge thing for me, just to be able to talk with somebody. And it could be a family member or friend, but ideally it's not somebody you're like super close with. It's somebody that you can just really talk business with and get down into it from time to time.
And I mean, I couldn't agree with you more with that, because I mean, kind of similar to the reason why I do sales training every single day is because I consider myself a professional. And if you consider yourself a professional, you should hire a mentor or coach. For really, probably several areas of your life. You might have, a business coach. You might have a physical trainer. You might have, a spiritual coach. I mean, there's like, you can have multiple coaches.
Yeah, you need people in your corner for sure.
And there's not a one size fits all, because a product for everyone is a product for no one. And so finding that right person for each specific area of your life that you want to grow and thrive in is invaluable. So I can't encourage, the pursuit of knowledge and the pursuit of, having someone in your corner, whether, as a coach and a mentor, to kind of steer you in the right direction. Because I don't know about you, but I do have shiny object syndrome sometimes. And I'm like, whoa, let's go. And so having that person who's kind of like an integrator and says, hey, I see you have a million ideas. Let's reel that in to one.
Right.
Two.
Yeah.
Which is hard, but
it's
necessary. Hey, before we wrap up, I've got a couple minutes here. I do want to mention marketing. Marketing is the only thing that's senior to sales. And people hear the word sales and get all, weird on their seat, right? They're like, oh my gosh, but everything in life is sales. From, you and your spouse trying to figure out what you're having for dinner, to, a prospect that needs to be trained in CPR or whatever you're selling. So everything in life is involved around sales. But the only thing senior to sales is marketing. Because your problem is my problem, is every business owner's problem in the world, and that is obscurity. People don't know who you are, what you do, or why you do it, and you got to tell them. But if you don't know what you do, who you are, or why you do it, you can't tell them. So you need to sit down, and we have a whole workshop. But, just briefly, I mean, this is a whole massive multiple day workshop. But you need to set your vision statement. If you're taking notes, write these down. Your vision statement, your mission statement, your core values, tagline, brand pillars, and value proposition. When you have those figured out, that is your marketing plan. Then you can dive into that is your messaging, right? Then you can dive into a whole other part of your business and how to properly grow it. And I'm trying to look for my other. I know I have a little. Here it is.
You got that big stack there on Audible at all?
I should. But so that is just your message. Once you figure that out, once you figure out your message, then you can jump into your content creation, which is right here. Then we discuss your distribution channels. And then, of course, you have organic or paid offers and conversions. So that is your whole marketing strategy in a nutshell. But it all starts with your vision, your mission, your core values, your tagline, your brand pillars, and your value proposition. If you don't know those things, how can you find, attract, align, retain people to jump on your team to fulfill that mission?
Man,
that's all I got for you today.
You got a mic to drop there? There you go.
Love it. Well, hey, listen, Tim, do you have anything else you want to add to today's content?
No, this is a little bit different, content, but I think it's good. We've talked in past podcasts. So if you're just joining us, we talk a lot about how to grow your business, like how to expand, how to find locations, website marketing, sales, things like that. Today was more around self-improvement, which will help improve your business. And hopefully it gave you some ideas. And at least, you can hear it from us that you might roll your eyes, and because I know I did, but it's important, and you'll see the difference.
Love it. Well, hey, listen, we're going to be here next month, October 5th. So first Wednesday of next month, 12 p.m. Eastern time. And what time is it in your neck of the woods?
That is 11 a.m. Central time. That'll be roughly 1 week before the Life Saving Summit. So that will be
all right. Maybe we'll see if we can get Brady on as a little teaser.
Oh, a little teaser. I like that. Yeah.
There you go. That'd be fun. Cool deal. Well, hey, listen, I hope you have a great rest of your day, great rest of your week. And until we see you next time, be great.
Yeah, all of you. Thank you.
See y'all soon.